Cheers.
Cheers, nephew.
Brilliant. That's nice. Did you hear the glasses clinking down? You can talk. Don't be scared.
Oh, okay, hello.
Just talk to me. It's fine.
I'm just a bit shy.
I know. It's good. You'll be fine.
Mental trouble.
You don't even know what we're talking about yet. That's really exciting.
No idea.
I haven't done that to anyone yet. Welcome to another episode of the Fledge Cast. It's not just me. We have a guest. We're going to be talking about travel. We're going to be talking about music and Japan, but this is not a travel podcast. This is a music podcast. Welcome to the show. That was a bit rough. Could have done that better. Mistimed it, but that's okay. We're already here. Hello, my name is Nathan Barry. I'm the host of this show. What's your name?
Mike. Uncle Mike to you.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
You never call me Mike, mate. No, seriously. Uncle Mike.
Where are we?
We're at Mathara. I live here.
What's it like?
Whew.
All right, I want to talk to you.
Is that how this works?
Yes. I want to talk to you about something that I think you'll like talking about, because that's the point of this show. Is I want to talk to people about something that I know they care a lot about, and then I want to loosely try and relate it back to music. That's basically the idea. And for you, I chose Japan.
Ooh.
Because you lived there for a while.
I did. That's right. Between 2002 and 2010 or 2011, I forget.
Okay. That's pretty much the launching place I want to go from. Is right now in 2024, there's more Australians going to Japan than ever before. And I wondered how that compares to when you moved there 22 years ago.
Oh, 22 years ago. It is, isn't it? Look, I think back then, so that was, about 2002.
Yeah.
I don't think many people in Western society knew much about Japan at all.
Really?
Or I certainly didn't. No, I knew konnichiwa, sayonara, and that's it. And I was talking to you before about it. Before I moved there, I was going to a gym in Melbourne, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they have gyms in Japan, which is utterly ridiculous. Really. Yeah.
To wonder whether they would have them.
So when I got there, I couldn't believe there wasn't one gym. No, there's heaps.
Of course there was.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What was the process of moving there? How did you decide that was what you were going to do? How did it come about?
It was all synchronicity. Everything by itself fell into place. So I was working at a company called Salesforce in Melbourne. Been there 8 years. This particular role that I had was good. It was like a training manager, but it was extremely stressful. Right. Stressful to the extent that, how do you say?
Alopecia.
Alopecia. I got a circle of alopecia on my head. So I used to say to my partner, Rick, at the time, I just can't do this anymore. It's Sunday was the worst day of the week because it was filled with dread. So I just said, I can't do this anymore. And I said it many times. And then one day he said, well, just out of the blue, he said, well, why don't we move to Japan? You've got an English teaching degree. You can get a job as an English teacher. And as soon as he said it, ding, I was like, that's what we're doing.
Cool.
It just gelled. I'm going to say that the next weekend, so a few days later, I was looking through The Age. I don't know if they still have it, but the employment section.
I'm pretty sure The Age still exists.
No, the employment section in The Age. It's probably all digital now. And there was an ad, ECC, English teaching jobs in Japan,
Right.
and they were coming to Melbourne like the next week or something for a recruitment process.
True.
So the people working for the company in Japan came out. So I attended the interview. 2 or 3 days later, they told me that I had the job, and I reckon 4 weeks later I was in Japan. Bang, bang, bang.
Far out.
Yeah, it was great.
So it was a notice in the paper.
Yeah.
I think you might have told me that before, and I found that so interesting
Yeah.
because it's not that long ago. But
It's 22 years. That feels long.
yeah,
Kind of, yeah. In some ways, but then other times it just seems so just the other day.
yeah,
Yeah. I still miss it.
of course.
I still have. When I first came back to Australia, it was reverse culture shock and so homesick for Japan, like more than what I was for Australia when I went there.
When did you come home? How long did you live there?
I'm going to say 9 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So when you came back, there was more culture shock coming back to Australia than there was when you first went to Japan.
That's right. Yeah.
How?
I think the first thing I noticed was people's accents, the Australian accent. Because I didn't really hang out with Australians over there. I met a couple, but not, regular friends or anything. So it was the Australian accent. Particularly, I noticed it among women, but regardless of male or female, it just sounded so bogan
Really?
and rough.
Yeah.
And like customer service, it's complete polar opposites. Like, I think here the customer is often a nuisance or an inconvenience.
Right.
And this is when they just walk in the door. But over in Japan, the customer is like royalty.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, just mainly it was the accents, customer service. I really found it difficult to adjust here. I used to get, am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
I used to get really pissed off with poor customer service. Whereas before I went to Japan, I wouldn't have given a shit. It was just like how it was.
You got used to a higher standard and then came back.
That's right. Yeah.
True. Yeah, the politeness and the giving nature of Japanese people that I've experienced is very different to here,
Very.
for sure.
Yeah. Because of course you've been there, so you've experienced it yourself.
Yeah, not to the same degree. The longest I've spent there is a month,
Yeah.
but still, you can definitely tell the difference.
Mm.
I want to play a game,
Okay.
just a complete divergence. I've made a game for you.
Mm.
You know how this game works, obviously.
Family Feud.
I'm going to play you some sound effects, and I want you to tell me where those sound effects are from.
Oh, okay, go.
If you once you hear the sound effects, you will then hear this, and you have until the end of this sound effect to give me your answer.
All right.
You will then either hear this or this, depending on your answer.
Okay. Which one's correct? Okay.
That
cool.
one.
Thanks.
Sorry for the delay. That one.
Okay.
So
Which one's wrong?
that one.
Okay.
So the 5 sound effects I'm going to play for you,
Oh my god.
some of them are from convenience stores. Some of them are station songs.
Oh, is this Japan based?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't say that.
no,
Okay.
but you know how the game works.
Awesome.
It's implied. So all of these sounds are Japan sounds. I wonder how much the wind is coming through into the microphones, but
I don't think much.
No, I
it's
think
not
we'll be
breezy.
right.
We're not blowing
no,
here.
no, we're not.
What's wrong?
So before we get to that, I have made a jingle for this segment that I'm going to play for you right now.
Go.
Beautiful. Okay.
It was.
If you needed any help on the lyrics for that jingle, let me know. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
The first one is... I think this one's an easy one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Do you know what that is?
I think it's when you walk into a convenience store.
Yeah, which one?
Can you play it again?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Lawson. Ah.
Do you want to have another go?
Yeah. 7-Eleven. Oh, God. Well, there's only another 200
I
to
picked
choose
up.
from.
I thought I picked the first one.
Circle K.
I thought the first one was the easiest one.
7-Eleven, there's Lawson, there's Circle K.
I thought this was the easiest one. This is my
There's-
favorite convenience store.
Mini Mart?
I'm just going to tell you, it's Family Mart.
Oh, how could I have forgotten?
It's Family Mart.
Family Mart.
It's the best one.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Question number 2. What is this from?
Train station.
Which one?
A lot of them play the same jingles.
Oh, not according to the YouTube video that I saw.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, some of them have dedicated jingles. One more. I'm pretty sure it's not Shinjuku. I'm going to go with Tokyo Station.
It's Shinjuku.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was too obvious.
I tried to make it easy. You're overthinking it. All right. Third one. This sound plays when you enter which store?
Don Quixote.
Nah, Lawson. So far, you're 0 from 3.
I was about to say to you, well, it's not a store. It's a convenience store.
All right. This one plays when you enter a different convenience store.
Just a guess, I'm going to say Lawson's.
You just had Lawson at the last one.
That was Family Mart.
No, that was
Oh, yeah.
Lawson. That one that you just heard was 7-Eleven.
Oh, I was going to say that.
I thought I made it easy. One more. And this one is another train station. Are you ready? Last one. So far, you're 0 from 4.
Oh, it's familiar. Shinagawa.
No.
Not Otawara, is it? Tokyo.
One more time.
Tokyo. Shibuya. Of course, Shibuya.
That's so good. I'm so glad you got that.
Thanks.
Fantastic. 1 from 5 is pretty good. That's
Thanks.
fantastic.
Do you want me to do my train announcement?
Please.
This is at Shinjuku Station.
Go on.
You know how the announcers say? Mamamonaku, ichiban sen ni Tokyo yuki desu. Abanai desu kara. Ba ba ba.
Beautiful.
Want me to tell you what it says?
Yes.
Now arriving. Train bound. Oh, no, I missed out a bit.
All right.
All right, once
Go
more.
back to
Yep.
do it
Here
in
we go.
Japanese and then tell me the translation.
No, I did get it right. Mamamonaku, ichiban sen ni Tokyo yuki desu. Abanai desu kara. And a little bit after that. So it means arriving soon. Platform 1. The train bound for Tokyo. It's dangerous to stand in front of the white line, even though every single line that they're talking about is yellow.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's a racist thing. They don't want to be racist about themselves.
Maybe. Potentially. Thank you for playing. I didn't name it. Conbini train line guessing game.
That's
and here's
nice.
the jingle one more time. All right. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but before we go, I have to let you know that this episode of the Fledge Cast was brought to you by 7-Eleven. Not in Australia, not in America, not anywhere in the world, but Japan. Why? Because 7-Eleven, in my opinion, out of all of the convenience stores, is the best. I tested that in a video that you can see on YouTube called Conbini Compare. And in that test, I'm spoiling the ending of this video, it was found out that 7-Eleven beat Lawson's and Family Mart in all criteria that we set.
Wow.
For more information, you're going to have to check out that video. We'll be right back after this.
Is it still recording though?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you're going to edit it later. Oh, you're such a clever boy.
We're back. Thank you. Thank you for waiting through the break. I know it was a miserable few seconds without us, but you survived and you're here. So thank you for being back. That's all. Back down to business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the music that you were listening to when you first moved there in 2002?
Ooh, I'm going to say it would have been along the lines of Taylor Dane, still Tina Turner.
Yeah.
God, who else was it? Yeah, I've gone blank. I sort of got stuck in the 90s
Yeah.
with my music, yeah. And on Spotify, I had like my top of the list playlist is all 90s songs. Like,
True.
Yeah. So, bit stuck there.
Maybe what was the thing? Obviously, in Japan, karaoke is very big.
Mm-hmm.
What was your go-to karaoke song?
Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by George Michael.
George
And
Michael.
Yeah.
Really?
/ Elton John.
Ah. Whose song is it first, or did they just do it together?
I think Elton John first, and then they did a duet together. He was a surprise guest, one of them. And then I think George Michael released his own version.
True.
Yeah, which I liked the most.
Did you do a lot of karaoke while you were living there?
So much. Yeah. It was, at the peak, honestly, it was like 3 nights a week, 3 or 4 nights a week.
With who?
Work friends,
Yeah.
friends, partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner at the time, Nutty, all together 7 years in total. At the time, he kind of liked karaoke as much as I did. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we used to go a lot together. And it's just great. You know, you press the button, they bring you beer and snacks and edamame, and you could live there.
Good. Were you always in private rooms or in open bars where you would sing with randoms
100% in the private.
every time?
Yep.
Did you ever do the other?
No.
Never.
I didn't even come across that in Japan. Maybe.
True.
I don't think it's a thing there.
No, it is because we had the option when I went recently.
Oh, okay.
But I reckon I still prefer the little room.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of one of the fun things about it.
Why? Because we're kind of hidden away and it can be silly.
Yeah, there's no randoms watching, and you're there with people obviously that you like,
Yeah.
friends, whatever, and you just let your hair down,
Yeah.
drink copious amounts of beer, and just have a great time.
Yeah, beautiful. Would you say, so Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me was your number one karaoke song? Do you have a song or even an album or an artist or something that makes you think about Japan the most and that 10 years of living there?
I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but when I was living in Japan, and it must have been the early days, Delta Goodrem released her first album,
Right.
and I bought that from a record store in Tokyo. And it was kind of like my only kind of connection to Australia, and I played it over and over and over again.
Born to Try by Delta Goodrem was number 7 in the ARIA singles of 2002, which is the year.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
Phew, that adds up.
yeah, it all lines up. So that was your connection to back home, hey, and in the early days.
That's right. When I listen to it now, I do realize, apart from 1 or 2 songs, how shit it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Okay.
Some of the songs, the lyrics are so cringe.
Really?
Yeah.
True. But maybe they had fun. Oh, we may have an unexpected guest
Pop.
in a minute. Yeah,
How do you know?
because his dog's there.
Oh, of course. Nice deduction.
Yeah.
So from the fact that the dog's there, you could extrapolate that
Yes.
Pop is coming.
He's coming. How old were you when you moved there in 2002?
30.
You were 30.
Yeah. And I came home when I was 39.
There you go. What were you most surprised to learn about Japan in the early days?
Oh, most surprised. It was just Japanese people. Like, I know that sounds silly. You go to Japan, of course, you're going to see Japanese people, but they're all Japanese.
Really?
Like, riding the train in the city, I remember sitting there just like looking around, and everyone had jet black straight hair, and I was like the only foreigner on the train, or in that carriage anyway.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. I think back then the figures were, because I did look it up on the Dewey Decimal System. I think back then it was 98.5% pure Japanese in terms of the population.
So full on.
Yeah, I think now it's probably at, I'm going to say 97. Not
Yeah?
different, but yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
So that was pretty amazing. One of the first things I also noticed was just the level of is the right word, orderliness?
Okay.
Or, society. It was an orderly society.
Right.
Even though, there's literally millions of people, I think 25 million or something, who live in Tokyo. And it's so busy and the trains are busy. Because of one of their core values, the Japanese, because of that value, the society, regardless of how populated it was, worked in sync. Yeah. And that core value was respecting someone else's space. Yeah.
Hello. How are you? We're recording a show. Yeah. So I just looked it up, and the percentage of Japanese people living in Japan at the moment is apparently 97.4%. So you were
I just said
spot on.
97.5.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
You had it. There's going to be some loud noises in the background, potentially for the rest of the episode, but don't be put off. Stay with us. Stick with us. We're nearly there. What has stuck with you the longest from your time in Japan, apart from AIDS?
Yeah. Actually, my ex-partner, he had AIDS.
Really?
Oh, HIV. I don't think it wasn't full-blown AIDS. There's a difference, isn't
Full-blown AIDS. Put
well,
that on a t-shirt.
I think that's what they call it. Yeah.
Full-blown AIDS?
Yeah,
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. Full-blown AIDS.
No, thank you.
So anyway, so I got with my ex, Akira, lovely guy. And because he knew that I like to go out and party, he suggested that we both go and get HIV tests. Start of a relationship, be responsible.
Yeah.
But we were both a little bit worried about me. So we got there, we had the tests, and then we went back for the results. It was great. I didn't have it. He did. True story.
Far out.
Yeah.
So, apart from AIDS,
Yeah.
what has stuck with you the longest from your time in Japan?
Making Japanese friends who are going to be friends for life.
Okay.
They're like family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Easy answer.
Yeah.
What about in your personality? Any intricacies, idiosyncrasies that you reckon you've picked up on, or even cultural things that you've absorbed that you still do to this day that you wouldn't have done if you hadn't have gone there?
I know in my speech, I'll occasionally put in the odd Japanese word. And I know that people who are listening, perhaps even you as well, Nathan, think I'm putting it on.
Yeah.
But, living in a country for 9 years where it's not a high level of English.
It wasn't then anyway.
No.
Even now, it's like...
Compared to other countries like Hong Kong or Singapore, blah, 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 it's quite low.
Yeah.
So just, for 9 years, hearing Japanese people speak and using words, some words, quite a few words, for me have become as familiar as their English counterparts.
Right.
So that's why sometimes my speech is peppered with some random Japanese words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as much as it used to. When I came back to Australia, I had the weirdest accent.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And you couldn't drive either, which is a whole other thing.
Because I literally never drove in 9 years when I was living there.
You never drove in 9 years.
I used to teach English too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was getting back to our point before, very low levels of English. Sorry about that.
Because you were there fucking it up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Had it coming.
What would you say to someone who hasn't been to Japan before and is sitting on the fence about whether or not they should go?
For a holiday or to live there?
Either. Let's start with holiday.
For a holiday, I would pre-plan a lot.
Yeah.
And realize that there will be challenges, and particularly with things like public transport. It's a very, very complex system.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you kind of familiarize yourself a little bit beforehand, but just have an understanding that it is a very different culture and society compared to Australia or other Western countries.
Yeah.
And respect that. Yeah, respect that. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's so important. Like just talking loudly on the train, a very simple thing, is really frowned upon.
Yeah.
So like, if you're there with your Aussie mate on a holiday, don't sit there and talk as if you're in your living room. Be respectful to those around you.
What about someone who's thinking about living there?
A lot of the things that I just said apply.
Yeah.
The most important thing is to mentally and psychologically prepare yourself to enter a very, very different society. A good society, but very different to how our society and the individuals within it operate on a daily level. So that's the first thing I would say, and that will lead to you being respectful.
Yeah.
When you go there, respectful of the culture and respectful of individual Japanese people. And the only other thing I would say is do it. Absolutely. I was about to say do it if you're young, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age you are. I'm not sure how the visas work. I think there's some challenges after 30, but not impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just say do it. Go and have a life experience. My plan was to go there for 1 year. That 1 year went pretty quickly, and I ended up there for 9 years.
True. Wow. That pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. I would love to have you back on at some point. Thank you for talking to me about Japan.
It was fun. My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for listening. You know what to do. If you're watching, like and subscribe and press the bell and all that fucking shit that you have to say. Tune in next week to find out why I absolutely hated going to Japan. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
This is delicious. This is delicious. This is
Beautiful. Thanks.
Well, that was fun. I can't wait for the next one. Let's do one in half an hour. Let's do one when